Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Pokemon Empire YouTube channel. Our last video we went over how to hack your Switch, and today we're going to go over how to set up and run a sysbot on Discord for trading Pokemon. So there's just a few things that you'll need, a few more downloads you have to do and just put on your SD card. So we'll get started with those. So the first thing we're going to want is the sysbot hub itself. So we'll type in this projectpokemon.com, and I'll have this link down in the description, but it's going to be sysbot automatic build. And we'll want to click on this little link right here to download the file. Alright, we got that downloading. Alright, so while that's downloading, the next thing we're going to need is the sysbot hub. So what we'll type is sysbot.base GitHub, sysbot.base GitHub, and we want to get this one by Olazor. And we'll go down to our latest. And we'll just do this sysbot.base.zip. Now, depending on what game you're going to be running the sysbot for Sword and Shield, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, they all use the same sysbot. I think the only one that's different is Let's Go. If you're doing a Let's Go bot, you have to download something different. If you do plan on doing that, just let me know, and I will send you all the information for that one. But as far as Sword and Shield, BDSP, and PLA, you're gonna use the same sysbot stuff here. Alright, so now that we got those two downloaded, another thing I like to do, especially I do a lot of my work remotely, so I'm not around my switches all the time, and so I can't see. I'm not in front of my Switch screen, and when the bot crashes, or if there's an update, I can't reset it. A lot of these bots come with the sysbot deal comes with the remote control feature, and you can have that on your computer, or you can do it by your IP address and type it in Discord. But I also use NX controller. Let's go to the latest. And you want to do make sure you download the right one, whether you have Windows, Mac, Linux. So NX controller for 32-bit and 64. Mine is 64. I don't have it on this computer because I don't run my sysbots off this computer, but I'll show you have it on my other computer. So you can just download that and then open it up and run the program, and I'll show you how that works. So I actually do have it here. The NX controller allows you to control your Switch remotely. Let's see, another thing you'll need, well, you don't need this. It's another thing that I use. I'll actually just show you real quick. It'll go. There we go. I have this program called AnyDesk that lets me remote control my computers. So I have another computer that I've set up at a friend's house. That's where my sysbots run because my internet's real slow at my house. So I run all my sysbots at his house through my other computer. You can see this is my other computer, and you see these are all my switch screens with the games running. So this is a program called sysdvr that lets you view your screen, and this is the program I was just talking to you about, the NX controller, that lets you control your switch remotely. So we'll go ahead and control this sword and shield bot. So you type in the IP address, hit connect, and then you can set up your controller settings to what buttons you want to be, and you just type this in on your keyboard. You can edit it and just type whatever you want it to be. So here we have our sword and shield screen. So we'll open up the YCOM menu, press Y. You can see you can go up and down, all that good stuff, and then exit out. So yeah, so this lets me basically, if I'm not around my switches, then I can do all this stuff remotely. I can see my switch screens and all that good stuff. So these are a couple good programs to have if you do work remotely like I do, when you're not around your switches. Exit out of there. Alright, so we talked about the NX controller. And the other thing is the sysdvr. This is where you get your sysdvr. You want the client 7Z. And this will have a setup. Let's have a little bit of a setup process on how to do it. I'm not going to go over that today. If you want to use that, and you would like me to make a video specifically on this, just leave a comment and let me know, and I will do that. But this is the one that will allow you to view your switch screen remotely. Another thing you can do to view your switch screen remotely is have a capture card. So like I showed you here before. So these right here, this one, and this one, they're all running on sysdvr. The Let's Go bot, it doesn't have the remote control feature. So if this one crashes, then you have to go and reset it manually. That's the only problem with this one. I've talked to the developer about getting remote control, and some of these developers, they're not friendly people. So they don't like when you ask questions or give suggestions. So I don't see remote control coming for this one anytime soon. I'm not going to name the developer that made this Let's Go bot, because I am very grateful for it. It gets used quite a bit, so I can't complain too much. But yeah, they don't like when you critique their work, or not even critique, just ask a question. So yeah, so these are running on sysdvr. These two, BDSP, Sword and Shield, PLA, they all work with remote control. And then these two that are running through VLC Media Player, they're actually on capture cards. And so the difference with that is, with the sysdvr only can capture the screen in game. If the game actually has like a capture feature, like if you take a video or a screenshot, then the sysdvr will work on that game. So as soon as you exit out of the game, you can't see the home menu. So if you're resetting these remotely, you kind of got to know your switch screen, know what pops up when you tap a button. That way you can reset it without having to see it. Now with these two over here, my PLA bots, they're on a capture card, so that actually allows me to see the home menu. So these are easier to reset whenever we're using the NX controller, because you can actually see what you're doing once you exit out of the game. But like I said, sysdvr, you can't see anything once you exit out of the game until you get back into the game. And so that's just a simple capture card fix. Like I can run these on a capture card if I wanted to. A lot of people, capture cards are expensive. If you're streaming, then you want a good capture card. but like for what I'm doing here, I'm not streaming any of this. This is just for me to see. That way I know that my bots are running and that they're good. That's just for me to tell, and I can see what's going on. So these capture cards that I have on here, I got the capture cards off of Amazon for $10 a piece. And so I can just go buy 2 more $10 capture cards for these, and then I'll be able to see the home screen if I wanted to. But I really don't need to, because I know what buttons to press without seeing the actual screen. And of course, like I said, the Let's Go doesn't have the remote control feature, so there's no use to have a capture card for that one, because you can't do anything anyways. So enough about that. We'll get back to setting up our sysbot. So yeah, we got our sysDVR if you want to use that. So now that we have all that downloaded, now in our last video we had you download a couple of programs called FTPD and JKSV. So one of those is for your save file, and then one of those is for transferring files back and forth from your computer. And now you can do this manually. You can take your SD card out of your switch, and you can put it in your computer, and you can transfer files over. But the reason we downloaded FTPD was so we wouldn't have to do that. So you'll just need another file sharing app, or file sharing app. I use FileZilla, and so you can just type in FileZilla download in your internet browser and download the version of FileZilla that you need. And so this allows us, this will allow us to connect to our switch via Wi-Fi without having to take the SD card out. That way we can transfer files back and forth without having to go through the process of entering into RCM mode and injecting payloads and all that. So let's turn on our switch. Alright, and now to open our homebrew menu, we hold the right trigger and then launch a game. Hold it down while it's launching, and that'll open up our homebrew menu. And we'll want to go to our FTPD. Alright, and then once you open up FTPD, it'll have your IP address along with port number. Port will always be 5000. So right under info, it says info started server at the IP address 192.168.42.16 and port 5000. So up here in your host, you'll type in your IP address. So 192.168, and it was 42.16. And our port was 5000, and we'll hit quick connect, and here we go, we're connected. And now we can see all the files on our SD card, and over here are our files on our computer. So we'll go back out to our main. Alright, so now of course we know our files that we downloaded. Some of them are in zip folders, so we'll have to extract them real quick. So we'll pull up our files menu, and we'll have to extract this sysbot base. So extract. And if you downloaded the sysDVR and all that good stuff, then you have to do that as well. But all that goes on your sysDVR will go on here. But this is your actual sysbot hub, so this doesn't go on the SD card. This goes on your computer. So we got that sysbot 64 zip. We can delete that in a little while. We'll delete that in a little while. Sysbot base, this is the one that's going to go on the SD card. And so all you have to do, we have the see, we open the folder, has the atmosphere folder. So all I have to do is go over here to our downloads. Let everything load. There we go. And it was the sysbot base, I believe. Yes, and it has the atmosphere folder. So we're just going to copy this atmosphere folder to the root of the SD card, and it'll add our files to here. Like I said in our last video, if your computer doesn't automatically sync folders, then you'll have to do it manually and put the files in there. You can see it has atmosphere contents, and then it has this file number here with the flags and the EFS, NSP. Okay, so we just copy this atmosphere folder to the root of our SD card, and just drag and drop it, and it should copy it. And you can see it did a couple things on our switch. It says we're done. So you do the same thing if you download the sysdvr. I think it's just going to be it might have an atmosphere folder and a switch folder, and so you just drag and drop that over here, and it should sync your files automatically. So that's it for transferring all files. Like I said, the other way you can do this is actually taking your switch out of the your SD card out of the switch and putting it into your computer and doing this manually through your Files app, and just dragging and dropping through here. And then you have to put your SD card back in your switch and do the RCM, and then use this Tegra RCM program to inject your payload again. So now that we have all our files and stuff that we need on our switch, we'll press the plus button to exit out of there. Home, close. Now anytime you add files, not necessarily a save file, but like programs that you're going to run on your switch, like this sysbot program, you need to restart your switch for it to load up. And so we'll hold down the power button and power options, and don't turn off. You want to restart. If you turn off, then you have to enter RCM mode again and inject your payload. But this restarting will take you back into your Hecate menu. And so click on the first paper airplane, and then sys custom firmware, and launch back in to our system. So that's it on the switch side for now. Next, we want our sysbot hub, which we've already downloaded. So go to our downloads, and it's the sysbot X64. So we'll just drag and drop that onto our desktop. And this is going to be our sysbot program. These are all my sysbot programs over here. They're different ones: Sword and Shield, RaidBot for Sword and Shield, RaidBot for Sword and Shield, BDSP, Let's Go. It's our Gen 6 bot, and then 2 PLA bots. Alright, so when you open up your folder, it looks something like this. You'll have your sysbot exe, and then when you run it for the first time, then it'll add a few more folders. Okay, so you get this window pop up right here. Click more info, and then run anyways. And you can see it downloaded a few more folders here. So now you can see this says sysbot Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now depending on what game you're going to be running, this one I only have Sword and Shield on this switch, so we're not going to run Legends Arceus bot on this one. So what we need to do, we'll close that out, and then this should have a configuration.json file. So we'll open that up, and this is all we need to mess with right here is this mode. So mode 1 is going to be for Sword and Shield, mode 2 for BDSP, and of course mode 3 for PLA. So we're going to go with Sword and Shield, so we'll type in a 1 and hit File, Save, and we'll exit out of there, and we'll just kind of refresh the folder. And now when we open this up, it should say Sword and Shield. There we go, Sword and Shield. So you change that just by changing the mode in your configuration file. Like I said, mode 1 for Sword and Shield, mode 2 for BDSP, and mode 3 for PLA. Alright, so now we need to get all of our settings set up. So we'll go to our hub, and this I'll make this bigger so it's easier to see. Go. Alright, so we'll start at the top and work our way down. There's a lot of settings here. A lot of the stuff we don't use. You can use it, you can play around with it. But if you're just doing the trade bot, then for Discord, you don't need all this stuff. So we have our trade wait time. You select how much time you want your bot to be waiting for a trade. You don't want to set it too long, because if you have a queue, the longer you have your trade wait time, the longer it's going to take to get through the queue. So 45 seconds is a good time for Sword and Shield. You can set it for 60 or 2 minutes or whatever, but 45 should be plenty. Minimum trade code. This is the minimum trade code that it'll use when it generates a code. When somebody requests a trade, it'll DM them a trade code. So whatever numbers you have typed here between your minimum and maximum, it'll give them a number between those two numbers. If you have a small range of numbers, then it makes it easier for people to snipe Pokemon. So you don't want that. So what I always do is always just go from 1 to that right there. That way it covers every possible number. So it's completely random, and you don't have to worry about people sniping trades and all that good stuff. Dumps. So a lot of people don't know about this feature. A lot of people don't use it. So I wouldn't change any of this. Basically what this is, if somebody wants to dump their Pokemon and get files for them, this basically just says they can, whenever they enter a trade with the bot will allow them to dump up to 20 files that it'll make for them. And they have 180 seconds to do it. So basically all you have to do is show the bot the Pokemon, wait a couple seconds, back out, and then select your next Pokemon that you want the file for, wait a couple seconds, and back out, and just keep doing that until you reach 20 or until your time runs out. And then it'll send them all the files of the Pokemon that the bot was shown. Screen off, we don't mess with that. Trade animation, max delay 90 seconds. You don't want to mess with any of this. All these timings here are pretty much set where they need to be. This is just your count, how many surprise trades is done, distribution trades, all that good stuff. That should be false. Seed checking. Show all Z3 results. You can put it for false, you can set it for true. Excuse me. Set it for false. Results display, close only. I do the first, I think it's the first 3. Yeah, first 3. Distribution, if you're going to do a distribution, I'll show you how to set that up in a little while once we're done setting up the bot. So if you want your bot to do a distribution while it's not doing trades, you set this to true. And now in our distribution folder, whether you're doing 1 Pokemon or you have 100 Pokemon in there, this will be based on if you have it shuffled. If you have shuffled set to false, then it'll just start at the top of the file and start working its way down through each of those files that you have in the folder. If you have shuffled set to true, then it'll just pull a random file from that folder and then trade it out. So I always have mine set to shuffled if I'm doing a bunch of them. This you don't need to do anything with, leave it alone. Trade code, if you're doing a giveaway or distribution, you can have it set for one number, or you can have it set for a random code. So if you want to have it set for a specific number, you can put it in here. So we can do like that, and that's the other one. That's what everybody will type in to connect to the bot to enter into your giveaway or your distribution. Let's see, random code. That's if you don't want to use this specific number, you just want to trade out on random codes, and that's fine. It does make it harder for people to find if they don't know the code. So if you're doing a giveaway or a distribution, I always suggest using this set code. That way they know what code they're using to connect with your bot. So we can close those. Raids, I don't mess with that. Eggs, fossils encounter, trade abuse. You can set this up if you don't want people using the bot too often. But you can go through and read what all these do. I don't set up the trade abuse because I don't care if somebody, as long as the bot's getting used, that's good enough for me. Alright, debug, skip console bot creation, you want to set to false. Screen detection, console language specific, screen detection English, and anti-idle. I would set that to true. That basically keeps the screen from going to sleep if the bot's not getting used. You can also change that in the switch settings itself to where the screen never goes to sleep. So that's what I do to mine. I change it in the actual settings. And so what this will do, it actually lets the bot press B so the screen doesn't go to sleep. Alright, now we're getting to the important stuff. This stuff is what will make it work on Discord and all that good stuff. So under here, under integration, go to Discord. Okay, so we'll need a Discord token. I'll show you how to get that in a little while. And then we have our prefix, whatever you want your prefix to be, like .trade, $trade, %trade, whatever you want to be. All of my bots I use %, so they're all %trade. So we'll just do dot for that. Leave module blacklist blank, async commands false, bot game status. So this is what it'll say on Discord whenever it shows your bot status. You can see mine says playing Sword and Shield. So that's what it'll say, whatever you have typed in there. So we'll do that. We'll do go. Bot color status trade only true. That doesn't matter. You can have that set to whatever. Hello response when somebody says hi. So let me move this out of the way. You can't see that. All right. Alright, so I say hi, and so you can put a media link here if you want to for your bot to do this. Otherwise, it'll just say hi and at the person's name. Alright, so it says hi, and then it'll put the person's name there. But you can also do what I did. You can just get a media link, whether it's a photo or a GIF like that. You'll just put it here, add it to hi, and then paste the link right here in between it, and then it'll do that for you. Now you can set up roles if you have your bots locked to roles. I do not have my bots locked to roles because I rent my bots out to other servers. So I have all these set to except for the role favored and the pseudo and remote control. Remote control, you want that set for yourself or anybody else that you want to be able to control your bot if it crashes to reset it. Pseudo, you only want to use for yourself. And favored, they can be it can be whatever. So basically, what this is if you're you can put a role in here. And this only works if your queue is at 15 people or higher. If you don't have 15 people in the queue, then the favored role doesn't work. You have to have at least 15 people in the queue. So if you don't have a lot of people, you don't have to worry about this. Basically what this is if there's more than 15 people in the queue, you can give a role right here. Under collection, you can type in the role name or the role ID, all that good stuff. So whenever the person with that role enters into the queue, say they're position 24, what it'll do is if they have this favored role, then it'll move them to the front of the queue. So it'll say position 24, estimated wait time, however many minutes. And so what it'll do, the bot will finish up the current trade that it's in, and then it'll process the favored role request next. So it'll automatically move them to the front of the queue. But like I said, that only works if you have at least 15 people in the queue currently. If you don't have more than 15 people, then it doesn't work. I wish they would change that to where it would work even with 2 or 3 people. Just because if the bot's not getting used a lot and you have people with favored roles, they're still having to wait in line. So I wish they changed that to where it didn't have a limit, basically, where it had to have 15 people in it to be able to use that role. But anyways, back to our other stuff. Role can trade. So this role can trade. You can set it for specific roles. But like I said, mine's open for everyone to use. So I just changed this allow if empty to true, which is anyone allowed. And so on my server, I have my bots locked down to a role for the sword and shield bots, you have to have the sword and shield role. For the PLA bots, you have to have the PLA role. And that way it still has only certain people can use the bots if they have the role, but also at the same time lets me add these bots to another server if they rent it out, and not have to come back in my hub and stop the bot, add the role, and then restart it again. So I always have these set for anyone allowed, and then if I want to lock down the channels to a role, then I lock down the channels themselves to a specific role, and I don't lock the bot down to a role. If you unlock your bot down to a role, that's fine. It's the same process. You create a role in your server, and you can add the role here. You can type in the role name or the role ID, and then you hit OK. If you're adding multiple, like we can do admin, and we can add another one, supporter, and then if that's all you're going to do, and just press OK. Make sure these are case sensitive, so they have to be spelled and punctuated exactly like you have the role in your server. So if supporter is capitalized in your server, the supporter is not capitalized here, then it won't work. So you need to make sure the capitalization and all that is exact, or else these won't work. But like I said, I leave mine to anyone allowed for all these except for the remote control, pseudo, and role favored. I have specific roles like a server booster, supporter, subscriber, all that good stuff for people to have the role favored. And then all the rest of them I have anyone allowed for trade, clone, dump, all that good stuff. Channel whitelist, anyone allowed. If you only want your bots to work on a specific channel, then you can add the channel ID here, same way with your collection. You hit add, and then you have to type in the channel ID. To get your channel ID, you just want to go, so this is my bot channel here, so let's right click on it, and then we'll copy ID, and then we can paste our channel ID there, and that tells it the bots only work in that channel. And like I said, if you add it to multiple servers, you can add your channel IDs. But again, with that, if you're adding your bot to multiple servers, like I do, then every time you add your bot to a server, then you'll have to stop your bot, come and add the channel ID, and then restart your bot again. I don't like having to do all that every single time, so I leave it open to anyone allowed, and then I add the bot to their channel, and it'll automatically start working there because it's open to anyone, and then they can lock down the bot channel on their server to a role if they want to, or they can leave it open if they want to, all that good stuff. So I just find it easier because I use multiple servers again to just allow this for anyone. That way I don't have to come in here and change things whenever I add or remove it from a server. Logging channels, if you want to see what your bot's doing from your Discord channel, So my logging channel's down here. So my OB1 log channel basically tells you everything the bot's doing, who it's connecting to, what it's trading, all that good stuff. You can see when it crashes. So your logging channel is the same thing. You'll create a channel. You can see it's logging right now. Same thing. Right click on it, and then copy your ID, and then you put it in your logging channel. You have multiple logging channels on different servers. Anything like that. Trade starting channels, you can leave that. Anyone allowed. Blah blah blah. Echo channels is basically like a mirror channel. So say if somebody's on my server requesting trades, then your echo channel, if you have it on another server as an echo channel, then everything that shows up in this channel will show up in that channel as well. So there's not really a need for that. It's better to have for each server to have their own channel, so they're not all mixed up and you're not confused at what's going on in your server and what's going on in somebody else's server. Echo channels, return Pokemon. So this feature, if you have it set to true, what this does is when somebody trades a Pokemon to the bot, it'll DM them back a PK file of the Pokemon they traded. That way they can use that file to get their Pokemon back, or they can use it for whatever. Basically, it just says, this is what you traded me, here's the file for it. So you can have that set to true if you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, then you just turn that to false. Reply cannot use command in this channel. Set that to true. If they try to use a bot command in a channel they're not supposed to, the bot will tell them you can't use that command here. Alright, let me move this out of the way. Y'all can't see that. Move it up to the top so it's not in our way. Alright. Queues. Can queue if you want the queue to be open true. Max queue count. This is all set to default. You don't want to change any of this. Blah blah blah. Threshold lock. Threshold unlock. Let's see this one. Threshold lock. 30 is a good number, depending on how busy your bot is. Like for when PLA first came out, I had an issue with people not being able to join the queue because so many people were trying to request, and once it hits this 30, it doesn't allow any more requests until it gets below 30, and then it'll allow you. Then it'll open the queue back up, and then go back up to 30 again, and then shut the queue off. So if you have a real popular bot, you can raise this number. Mine are set to 100, I believe. That way there's no issues with somebody trying to request a trade and then it says, oh, you can't queue right now or whatever. But just for a single server bot, 30 should be more than enough, especially for a Sword and Shield bot. It's not very active right now. You can leave all this the same. Stop conditions, that's for your egg, fossil bot, and encounter bots. We're not messing with any of that, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Timings, the only reason you have to mess with this is if you're doing a raid bot, basically. So this allows you to add extra times if your bot's running too slow, or it's doing something before the game is ready. You can add extra timings here, and that's just something you have to play with. Like I said, this is usually, I only use this for the raid bot to add extra time if my internet's slow or something like that, so the bot doesn't get out of time when hosting a raid. Legality. So we have our mystery gift database path. You can leave that blank or you can put it in there. It should be, if you have PK hex already, it should be in your PK hex folder, and you see our MGDB. So what we'll do is copy that, and then we'll paste this right there. So that basically means it'll read out of that folder to get mystery gift Pokemon. Generate trainer path info. So you can use this, or you can use these right here. and type it in manually. So if whenever your bot's giving out Pokemon, if they don't request a specific OT or TID, then it'll just give them one with yours, or whatever you have it set for here or here. So you can have this set like that, and have your OT, and have your TID and SID here. And it says TID and SID 16. This is not the same as your regular TID and SID. The TID and SID 16 is basically like your hidden trainer ID and secret ID in PK Hex. So let's say we'll open up PK Hex real quick and show you. So this is going to be for Sword and Shield. So go to our settings, and we'll go up to Sword. Alright, and so we'll get our Pokemon and find our TID and SID. So we'll go to a random encounter. Alright, so let's go to a random encounter for Sword and Shield. And like I said, this is our OT, TID, and SID for Sword and Shield already. I have another video on PK Hex if you want to know how to get all this set up to where everything pulls up as your information instead of having to type it in. But anyways, like I said, your TID and SID 16 is different than your TID and SID that it shows here. So if you hover over this, you can see it says TSV and ID, or ID. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's what we have. That's the numbers that you'll want to have here. So whenever somebody requests a Pokemon, it gives them one with your OT, TID, and SID. It won't show up as these numbers right here. It'll actually show up as these two numbers right here. But you have to use, when you hover over the TID or SID, it should have the same number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the number that you want to put into the hub in order to get these numbers shown on your Pokemon. Now, if I were to type the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, if I were to type these two numbers here and here, up here, then it wouldn't work. It would give it something completely different. So you want to make sure, if you want to have the correct numbers here, you hover over it, and these are the numbers you want to put here. So the first number under ID, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your TID, and the second number, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, is your SID. So that's how you see that. So make sure you're paying attention to that when entering your TID and SID. Generate language, English. You can set it to whatever language you want. Set all legal ribbons. If you want your Pokemon to be generated with all the legal ribbons that it can have, then you can set that to true. A lot of people don't like that. They like adding them themselves or not having it at all. So I always have that on false. Set matching balls. What this will do, I have that set for true. So to set matching balls, basically when they request a Pokemon, it'll automatically give it a legal ball for the encounter type. If you want a force specified ball, so say they request an Ultra Ball, as long as it's legal, then it should give them that Ultra Ball. So we'll set that to true. Use Exoshiro, you want to set that to true. Easter eggs, you don't need to mess with that. Allow trainer data overrides. This basically lets people request their own OT, TID, and SID when generating Pokemon. Allow batch commands if they know what they're doing with that when requesting Pokemon. You want both of those set to true. Timeout 15 seconds. That's basically the bottle. Somebody requests a trade, the bottle will work for 15 seconds trying to create that Pokemon. If it can't, then it'll say it wasn't able to create that Pokemon. If you have it set too long, then it could crash the bot if it's trying to work too hard. So 15 seconds, I wouldn't mess with that. Just leave it alone. Reset home tracker, true. And our last thing is our folders. So if you want to dump all the files, So our dump folder, basically this will dump all the files that the bot traded and all the Pokemon files that were traded to the bot. It'll dump them in a folder. That way, in case somebody says, hey, I accidentally traded away a Pokemon that I wanted to keep, you can go back in this folder and find out what Pokemon they traded and give them back the file. But that also, that's the reason we turn that on, return PKM files. We have that set to true. That way it sends them back the file for the Pokemon they traded, just in case they do that, and you don't have to come in here and do it manually. But I always said to have that set to true just in case. And then your dump and distribute folder. So how you have this set. So your dump folder. Let's move this down here. So you have your dump and distribute folders here, which will automatically be put in here once you open up sysbot. It'll automatically have these folders in here. So it should automatically have the destination path in there. But like if you change the name of the folder, it won't change it in here. You have to come in there and change it manually. So say we change this to, we'll say Sword and Shield bot. No, it says I can't do it because it's, okay, hold on. Alright. So we'll exit out of there, and it saves it automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. So now we can rename it. So Sword and Shield bot. Now when we open it up, and we go down. Let's see. Make this bigger for y'all again. Make it too big. Okay, so now you can see now that our folder's named Sword and Shield bot, it still says sysbot x64, distribute and dump. So if you don't change this, then your distribution and your dump folder won't work properly. So what you'll want to do, you want to change that. So our first one is our distribute folder. So we'll open up our distribute folder and then copy that, paste it there, and so now it says desktop Sword and Shield bot distribute. You want to do the same thing for the dump folder. Copy that and paste it there. So you want to make sure these paths are correct, otherwise these folders won't work properly. And so that's it with setting all that up. Move this down here. The last thing that we're going to need in order for our bot to work on Discord is our Discord token that we skipped over earlier. So go to integration and we have our token. Alright, so how do we get our token? So you want to go to Discord, Discord Developer Portal. Now, if you don't have this set up already, basically all you have to do is go to Discord Developer Portal and log into your Discord account. And I'm already logged in. Give it a minute to load. So my internet here is real slow. Oh, I'm not logged in. Okay, so log in. And you have to have two-factor authentication enabled on your account in order to use the Discord Developer Portal. So you have to go through the steps to set that up. Okay, so let me get my authentication code. 713. And that authentication code changes every 30 seconds, so you don't have to worry about anybody seeing it. See, these are all my bots that I have. Okay. And so what we'll want to do, this will be blank. So you'll want to create an application. So it'll be blank. So you click on New Application, and you'll want to name it. So we'll just name this Sword and Shield bot. You can name it whatever you want. Hit create. Alright, and then from here you can put a picture. You can just go on the internet and download a random picture. You can leave it blank. It'll just give it a stock Discord photo for its profile picture. You can put a description on what it is, or you can leave it blank. You don't have to do any of that. So that's it for that. So you hit save changes. Alright, and then we'll go over here to bot and build a bot. Hit add bot, and then yes, do it. And it created a bot, and it gives us this stock image. Like I said, you can go on your internet browser and find whatever image you want to have, and then put it here. Now you have your. This is where we get our token. Public bot. Basically, this allows anyone to invite the bot to their server. So if you don't want anyone inviting the bot to their server, you want to be the only person that can invite a bot to a server. You want to make sure that's turned off. And then these last three, presence intent, you want that on. Server members intent, you want that on. And you want message content intent on. You know, all that set to true. And then save changes. And to get our token, do our two-factor authentication code again. I have an app on my phone that sends me that I get the codes from. Like I said, it changes every 30 seconds. 424 412 424 412. Submit. Alright, and here is our Discord token. And like it says, it'll only show this once. And you shouldn't have to change it unless somebody gets a hold of your bot somehow. Then you have to change it. So I would suggest copying this into like a text document and save it on your computer somewhere if you need to view it again. Otherwise, you have to reset the token and then change the token in your hub to get your bot working again. So basically, we want to hit copy that, and then we want to go back out to our hub, and we'll paste our token right there. Now that we have all our settings set, you want to exit out, and that saves everything. And now when we open it back up, all our settings will be there with our Discord token and all that good stuff. So on this end, our bot is pretty much ready to go. We just have one more thing to do here, but we need to finish getting our bot into Discord. So we got our token, all that good stuff. Now we need to go to authorization. You got your general, and then you want your URL generator. So click on URL generator, and you want to click bot, and then you want to select the permissions that it has. Now, depending on what permissions it has, your bot will be able to talk in pretty much any channel, and you have to block the bot from all your channels, so it's not responding to commands in the channels. So to prevent that, you just want send messages, manage messages, embed links, attach files, read message history. That's pretty much all you need for your bot, or those four. So it's not talking in other channels. If you do these public threads, manage threads, all that good stuff, then it'll be able to talk in other channels. So we don't want that. So once we have those permissions selected, those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we'll hit copy right here. That's our URL generator. Hit copy, and then we'll paste it there. Alright, now from here, you want to select the server you want to add your bot to. you have to have admin permissions or managed server permissions in order to invite your bot to a server. So any server that you have permissions in will show up here. So we're just going to add to my server. Let's see, I got a bunch of them. All right, here we go. Pokemon Empire. Hit continue and send messages. This is all permissions that it has. Move this out of the way up, see it, and then hit authorize. Now it's going through that. I am human. At least I think I am. And there we go. Our bot was added to our server. So we can go in here and we can see our join logs. Scroll down, and Sword and Shield bot is here. Okay, so now we want to create a channel for it. We can exit out of all this. Let me move this thing out of the way. Y'all can't see that, but it keeps getting in my way every time I try to do something. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, so whenever your bot joins the server, it'll create a role for it. So we'll go to, of course, it's in my way again, server settings, roles, and our bot, our last join will be all the way at the bottom. And then so I move this basically to where I have all my bots. Here's all our bots here, so you can put it anywhere with your bots. And then for permissions, hit edit, and permissions here, it doesn't need any permissions at all. So you can see it has the permissions that we gave it when we invited it to the server, but we don't want it to have that. Basically, this gives it permissions in all the channels to talk and all that. So we will go up here and hit clear permissions and save changes. That way now it doesn't have any permissions to talk in any channel at the moment once it saves. And we're done. Okay, so now we got our permissions out of the way. So now we'll want to create a channel. This is under Sword and Shield, so it's a Sword and Shield bot. So we can add a channel, and we'll just call it Sword and Shield bot. And we'll make it private because I don't want anybody to see this, because I'm not gonna be having this on my servers just to show you how to do this. So we'll make it a private channel so nobody else can see it, and everybody's like, hey, what's going on? And then you can add the roles that you want to see. I like to do that manually, so we'll just skip that. You can do it from here, but I find it easier to do it whenever we do that. Now I created two channels for some reason, so we'll delete one. Delete channel. Alright, here we go. So we got our Sword and Shield bot channel. So now we'll want to add our bot to the channel. So we have permissions, so you can rename your bot whatever you want. You can see all my other bot channels have a status, red X for offline or green check mark for online. So yeah, you can put that there if you want to. We'll leave it blank because we're not going to be using this channel. So we have permissions, and we'll want to add our bot to the channel. Now if you have your channel set to private, everyone will be, they can't view the channel. So you can add roles. So this is a Sword and Shield bot. So we'll want to add our Sword and Shield role to the channel. If I can find it. Be down here. There we go. Sword and Shield bots. And then you can click that they can view the channel. And that's all the permissions they need. At least it depends on how you have your server set up, on what permissions you need to give them. But I have it where if they can view the channel, they can type in it and all that good stuff. So save that. Alright, and then we need to add our bot to the channel, which was our Sword and Shield bot. And the permissions you want basically want you have your bot to have pretty much almost all the permissions, so it can do anything in this channel. So you want view channel, and you scroll down, send messages, threads, basically all these except for the last two you want it to have. Manage messages, manage threads, read message history, and then text-to-speech messaging, use application commands. It doesn't need that one. So there. Now our bot is set up, our channel is set up, and it's ready to go. So now what we'll have to do, we need to go back to our hub, and our last thing in our hub, we need to add our switch to the hub. So what we need to do, you type in your IP address for your bot. We'll go ahead and turn our switch back on here. And we'll open up our game. Launch our game. So we'll type in our IP address. See if I remember it. I think it was 4216. And I always have it set for flex trade, so this allows people to clone, dump, seed check, all that. You can have it set for doing surprise trade, idle, seed check, and we'll only do this whatever you have it set on is the only thing it'll do. So if you have it set for flex trade, it'll do all of it. Get our game loaded up, and so once we have our IP address and then the type of bot that we want to use, hit add, and that'll add it down here. So now we need to connect to our YCOM. Get that going. Alright, we are finally connected. So we'll exit out of that. Alright, now in any game that you are running a trade bot for, you want to make sure that you are in box 1, slot 1. So we'll open up our menu. Go to our Pokemon, right, and make sure we're in box 1, slot 1. So we're good to go. So we exit out of there, and we're good to go. You want to make sure you're somewhere where you're not going to encounter Pokemon. No one's going to run into you, talk to you, or do whatever. So your house is a good place. Pokemon Center is a good place. But you don't want to be standing out in the wild where Pokemon are walking around. You also want to make sure in your settings your text speed is set to fast. If you have it set to medium or slow, then your bot will get out of time and it'll just throw it all off. So now that we're ready to go, we'll just go over here to our sysbot hub and click Start All. Now it should turn green, and then when it's ready to go, it'll say nothing to check. Of course, it's not responding. My internet's slow, so we'll give it a minute to catch up. Alright, here we go. Now we are green, and it says nothing to check. So we are good to go. So we can test it out. Go to our Discord, do .hi, see if our bot responds. Oops. And here we go, it responded. So now we'll start our trade. So we'll just do %trade, and we'll just do Bulbasaur. So our internet's real slow, so it might take a minute for the bot to respond. Well, it's not responding. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, that's because I'm an idiot. Said all my bots are %. I set this one up for dot, so that's why it didn't work. Trade. I'm like, why isn't it responding? There you go. Do not have the required role to run this command. So I have to. Let me see. I might not have set it up in the bot command where anyone can trade. Hub. Go to our Discord. Role can train. Okay, yeah. So doing that example, I put roles in there. So we'll remove, Okay, and then allow if empty, true, so anyone allowed. So now I should be able to trade. But like I said, anytime you make changes in here, you'll have to stop the bot and close it out. Otherwise, it still won't work. So close it out, and then we will open it back up. And start all. I'll wait for it to say nothing to check. All right, now we should be good to go. There we go, added to the queue. Now you can see our bot's opening our YCOM. It sent me the code. Make sure it's typing 13322834. There we go. Now if you have a drift in your Joy-Con or you don't have your text speed set fast enough, then it'll type in the wrong code. It'll create all kinds of problems. So you'll make sure you have good Joy-Cons and your text speed is set to fast. So that's how we set up a Discord trading bot for Pokemon. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of settings you have to go through to get it right. So if you need any help, if you have any issues, feel free to comment or message me on Discord, Joseph11024 on Pokemon Empire Discord. The link to my Discord will be down in the description. If you'd like to join my Discord, all my bots here are free to use. I also rent out my bots if you want to add one to your server. You can contact me about that. I rent them out monthly or by the year. So yeah, so that's how you set up a bot on Discord. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. And of course, we don't have a bot trade, so it's just no trader found. So a trade was canceled. So we're working. Bot did what it's supposed to do. So we're all good to go. So yeah, if you want me to make another video, just comment, message me on what you want me to make a video of, and I'll see if I can make it happen. Hope you all enjoy.